Let me start by telling you this simple story. I was in 10th grade back in 2019, 2020, and in 12th grade in 2021 and 2022. Both were very interesting experiences. Why? Because the first one was pre-pandemic and the pandemic had just hit when I was giving my exams, and the latter was post-pandemic, wherein things were just starting to settle down. However, one common experience that I had throughout both of these very different experiences was that I had started off with horrible grades and I had to climb my way up. Why did this happen? I was very overconfident in my abilities. Being that overconfident, what happened was I had not realized back then that I was lacking in a lot of abilities. I was lacking in a lot of activities. This is something I realized very late in the game, both the times. I barely had some 3 months to actually show my abilities in my exams, and I built myself up till there. This is the case with a lot of students. They don't realize for quite some time that they aren't doing enough. They realize very late in the game, but I can tell you honestly that even if you think that you're late in the game, you can still make it. Today I'm going to give you some simple tips and tricks that anyone can use to actually start seeing success in their academic journey. Let's get going. There's this 5-step simple method that I always suggest my students to use for their academic success. The first one being time management. With so many things to do in a day, from going to school, from going to tuition classes, from doing your extracurricular activities and building your profile, you require a lot of time to sit and study. And sometimes if I feel like you're just not getting that much time to do that. So how do we do it? There's a simple trick called as priority management, wherein you assign certain priorities to certain tasks in your day-to-day life. So let me show you my priority management table. So what do I give my first priority to? My first priority always goes to sleep. Yes, you require 8 hours of sleep every single day. So that is my first priority. I assign that 8 hours for sure and work my way around that. My second priority goes to deep work. What do we do in deep work? That is where you are going to put in the most amount of focus in whatever work you do. So that takes up the second highest amount of time in my day. Thirdly is a passive work where you do not require that much attention, but you still need to get work done. So say replying to emails, doing assignments, all of those work can go into passive work. And lastly, it's your leisure time, wherein your mind relaxes, where you need to rest and recuperate. So this was my priority management schedule. What I have seen historically has worked for me and my students. You are also free to make your own priority management schedule that will help you a lot and assign tasks properly. So that was priority management. Second thing, you ought to identify your learning style. The deep work slot that you have scheduled for yourself, to make the most of it, you must understand your learning style. You cannot sit in that slot and just try and study something and get out of that slot knowing that you have done nothing. That is unacceptable. So you understand how you learn before you actually sit and learn. Say if you learn by looking at diagrams, looking at images, looking at videos, or if you learn by listening to a lecture, if you learn by reading a textbook, understand what works for you and spend your time in that deep work session doing that exactly. Thirdly, a material that you're going to use to learn. What are you exactly doing with that? This is the most applicable with your first round of revision, wherein you're going to build a conceptual understanding of the knowledge that I've already built. Here, the most important thing is that your material has to align with your learning style. Say if you're a visual learner, have a lot more flowcharts, have a lot more diagrams, learn that way. if you are an auditory learner, have these recordings with you wherein you have taught a class or where you have maybe listened to someone teaching a class. Learn your material in that way and then go on with the first round of revision. Now, this was overall covering your deep work session. Your passive work is, of course, going to just be your assignments, your other tasks that do not require a lot of focus. After spending hours in both of these cases, what you need is rest. This is where people make the most amount of mistakes. They sit and scroll through Insta, watch YouTube videos to relax. This is not relaxation. This is consuming content beyond the limits of your mind. Your mind has a limit of absorbing information. You're overloading it. This is the mistake people make, and this is a mistake you cannot afford to make. To make sure your mind is at its best, spend time in mindful hobbies instead of consuming content. Go out, play a sport, exercise, interact with friends. These are things that end up building your mind as well as helping it rest. And finally, one of the most important things that I've realized over the years is that you require a strong support system. You could be an overachiever, but if there are people around you trying to nag you and bring you down, you're never going to achieve your goals. This is where you require a strong support system. When you feel demotivated, when you feel absolutely depressed, you require positive, supportive people to bring you back up. And having such people around you will always keep you aspiring towards your success rather than spending time in absolutely menial tasks. So, to ensure your success, first, mindful habits. Secondly, mindful people around you. Have the best kind of people around you. This ensures that all the 4 steps that I mentioned previously are done efficiently. That is all for today. These 5 simple tips can be implemented by any single person in the world. Now, it is your job to make sure that every single thing that I've told, how it can be applicable in your case, you sit, analyze, and work towards it. If you like this video and found anything helpful in this, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this content with everyone. Also, hit the notification bell to make sure you're notified about every single video that I put, be it short form or long form. Also, for all of those people who are interested in working with me one-on-one with these exact single things, when I work with you for your specific case rather than you just sitting and listening to a video of mine, there's a link down below where you can sign up for a free 30-minute session with me one-on-one online. If you're interested, make sure to hit that link below. The link's in the description down below. That's all for today. Thank you and happy learning.